Next on Good Morning El Paso, the investigation continues after that explosion that shut down US 54 in Otero County. Why the focus is now shifting to a Socorro scrapyard.
We are facing most likely one of the largest snowstorms in the history of this city.
Thousands are preparing for one of the worst snowstorms in years. The storm already canceling thousands of flights before the first snowflakes fall. Your complete Storm Track weather coverage is just ahead.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
From New York to Boston, road crews all over the Northeast are in overdrive this morning, preparing for a potential historic snowstorm.
Blizzard warnings have been issued for today through tomorrow, with some places expecting up to 3 feet of snow.
1,700 flights have already been canceled as the storm moves through later today, creating a travel nightmare till the end of the week.
Some flights from El Paso International are already being affected. And
back here in the borderland, it's quite the opposite. A very good morning, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. I'm Hillary Floren.
And I'm Stephanie Valle. We'll have more on that monster winter storm in just a bit, but first it's 6:01 and it's time to check in with meteorologist Crystal Clyde to see what we can expect this week. Hi, Crystal.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. We are starting off the work week with some clouds rolling on into the forecast and a little bit of moisture sitting to the south of us. That's actually going to turn into some rain chances later today and into tonight. But through your morning, you should be fine to drive to work. You'll just have some of those clouds hanging overhead throughout the viewing area. As for your temperatures, they're not bad either. 38 the temperature. It does feel like 31 outside, so it's a cold start to your morning. Do make sure that you've got the coat as you head out the door. Tonight, we will be seeing temperatures also somewhat chilly. In Las Cruces, 34 degrees. Feels like 29 degrees with winds at 6 miles per hour and relative humidity at 79%. We've got partly cloudy conditions out there this morning with partly cloudy to cloudy conditions throughout the rest of today expected. But when do those rain chances actually move into the forecast? We'll talk more about that up in just a few minutes.
Thanks so much, Crystal. To our round-the-clock coverage right now, a driver is in the hospital after being involved in an accident overnight. It happened around 3 a.m. on I-10 West and Clint. Officials on the rollover scene tell us the driver lost control and landed on its side of the gateway. The vehicle did anyway. The driver suffered minor injuries. The scene has been cleared and traffic is not being affected.
A Socorro scrapyard is getting the attention of federal investigators after 2 women were hurt in an explosion near McGregor Range Saturday. Authorities were led to the Lucero scrapyard on Alameda after one person on the scene was found with a sales receipt in their pocket from that scrapyard. Authorities believe the 2 women and 2 others were trying to pick up scrap metal on U.S. Army property when an unexploded device went off. One of the women suffered serious injuries to her legs. Otero County Sheriff Benny House says the women should have known better than to trespass on the range.
This is government property that's used for testing and for training. And the main thing is, these folks are stealing, these metals for salvage and, to make a quick dollar, and this is what happens.
ABC7 reached out to the UMC spokesman to get the condition on the 2 women hurt, but we haven't heard back. We'll be sure to stay on top of any developments for this story.
A Santa Fe jury has awarded an El Paso family $165 million in a wrongful death lawsuit against FedEx. The crash happened on I-10 outside of Las Cruces back in 2011. Authorities say a FedEx semi-truck slammed into the back of Mariali Venegas' pickup truck, which was pulled over on I-10. The truck driver, Venegas, and her 4-year-old daughter were killed. The Venegas family filed a lawsuit in 2012 claiming negligence against FedEx and 2 of its contractors based out of San Elizario. The family says the verdict sends a message to FedEx to improve driver training. A FedEx spokesman says the company will now look at filing an appeal. The El Paso Independent School District is looking into some big changes,
including the possible closure of dozens of campuses. Good morning, El Paso's Andrew J. Polk is live with the details. Andrew.
Yeah, good morning, Hillary and Stephanie. The district is having to overcome 17,000 empty desks. On last night's ABC7 Extra, members of the Board of Managers and trustee-elects laid out the problems and solutions that have been presented to the district. Now, with nearly 90 schools, the district is only at 76% capacity. The Jacobs Engineering Group, hired by the district, recommends closing 12 elementaries, mainly in Central and the Northeast. Those include Bond, Roberts, Vilas, Bell, Alta Vista, Zavala, MacArthur, Travis, Schuster, Collins, Fannin, and Newman elementaries. It also recommends completely rebuilding 12 schools from the ground up, including Lamar, Douglas, Burleson, Burnett, Burgess, Dowell, and Bradley elementary schools, Moorhead, Bassett, and Ross middle schools, and Burgess, Andrus, and Jefferson high schools. Now, it also recommends converting White, Lincoln, Bonham, and Terrace Hills to kindergarten through 8th grade schools and renovating Coronado, El Paso, and Irvin high schools. Trustee-elect Susie Bird says that all the changes need to be equitable and presented clearly to the public.
And then really kind of the big picture is, I agree with Dee 100% that we've got to make these decisions, but I think the public has to be with us as we make these decisions. And I think that they're willing to make tough decisions if they understand what the value that comes back to them.
$850 million, possibly spread over 3 bond elections in 2015, 2018, and 2021. Hillary and Stephanie?
Okay, Andrew, thank you.
A live look at traffic now. I-10 into Sarco looking nice. 6:06 is the time. No problems to tell you about on the roads.
And we will have more news and storm track weather coming up after the break.
And your forecast, a lot of changes over the next 7 days, starting with tonight. Could it be rain or could it be snow? The answer is up after your break.
Plus, we now know who could be the frontrunners come Oscar Sunday.
That's right. Coming up, we'll take a look at last night's 21st Annual Screen Actors Guild Awards and who won big.
Plus, we continue our coverage of the historic winter storm expected to slam the Northeast later today. We'll tell you which flights are already being affected here in El Paso.
This is ABC 7, where news comes first.